Podcast time.
Podcast time. Much podcast.
Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast with Mike Coffey of Coffee Custom Builds,
Be
Daniel
my
Dunlap of
lover.
Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, and Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find us all as well as the podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 58 of another Woodshop podcast, the Uranus of podcasts, full of gas and exciting blue things. What's going on, boys?
What?
You're gonna keep your job for another week.
Fun
I
Uranus
didn't
facts.
I didn't expect
Blue.
that.
It's not brown like everyone thought. It's blue. Anyways, what's going on, boys?
I just want to be clear. You said we're the Uranus of podcasts.
Yes. We're the
This episode
seventh-
is brought to you by the Rusty Tool. Big thank you to the Rusty Tool for sponsoring this episode.
Transition 100.
No, yeah, we just nailed that trend. No, big thank you to the Rusty Tool for sponsoring this week's episode. If you don't know what the Rusty Tool is, it is an online retailer where you can purchase all the tools you need to get your shop running. Like I said before, none of them are rusty. They are all pristine and in perfect condition. And if you care about customer service, Rusty will provide you with good customer service because that's just what he does. He's a customer service expert, and that's the biggest selling point with Rusty for sure. It's definitely not. I was gonna make a joke about his good looks, but he's the sponsor of the show. So big thank you to the Rusty Tool for sponsoring this week's episode. We really appreciate you, man, and we really
love Rusty.
Really, yeah, for sure, we do love Rusty. So
He's a good
big
looking
thanks to
dude.
him. Also, this week's episode is brought to you by our patrons. Big thank you to our patrons. We honor you. We envy you. We enjoy your smell. Please go check out another Woodshop podcast. That's not correct. I do this every single time. Please check out patreon.com/another Woodshop podcast. That's our Patreon page. You can check out what we got going on over there. It's basically early access to content. Also, there's content you can't get anywhere else. Well, that's not true. Yeah, there is. We've got Dan watching Lonely Island videos. That's pretty fun.
We got the
we're
Izzy
trying to do more.
Swan half episode snafu.
Yeah, that was fun when power was lost to the entire whatever area he's in.
Eastern
Southern-
Seaboard.
The Eastern Seaboard was down for months.
Oh, when dark.
But we were able to bring them on. Yeah. No, it was there's good stuff over there for sure, and we're always trying to add more stuff. So big thank you to our patrons for sponsoring the show. If you'd like to be one, we would love that, and we would do everything we can to make it worth your penny.
anything.
We're gonna be in Nebraska, and shirts are optional. Pete mostly.
That's how we do.
That's how we do. But this week, we kind of didn't have any questions, and then we got in the live, which had a bunch of our patrons in there.
And then we got
said-
questions.
Yeah, we said, hey, we only got one
Weird how
question.
that works.
We were gonna kind of BS with each other this episode and talk about things we were excited about, but they didn't want to hear that. They wanted to hear their own questions, so they got a bunch of them into us. So we're all
Great.
loaded
Now I
with
can't talk to you guys
questions.
about my new train hobby to answer questions.
Model trains. Pete's into model trains.
Oh darn!
No, I like the big ones.
Oh God, that needs to be
Chugga, baby.
that needs to be the top line of the description of the podcast. I like the big ones. Peter Kapar, 2021.
It's in the notes now.
Well, I mean, I think this is the time where it's the most appropriate for me to interject this soundbite. Dan, what's on your bench?
This week, I have been working on. Well, I continue to work on the basement build out. If you have been following me for some time, you know that I'm working on a basement project for a client. I've trimmed the basement. I had to pull the trim out. I had to reinstall the trim after they put carpet in. And now I'm working on their floating desk. They want a floating desk in a bedroom, so I'm working on that. And besides that, I'm also like prepping for my big CNC arrival.
Ooh,
I'm getting into
medium-sized.
the CNC game, guys. I'm pretty.
I remember when you used to be a real woodworker.
Yeah, well,
It's not real woodworking, man.
I got news for you. I never really
Sell
was.
out.
So yeah, I'm prepping for that, and the boys here, Pete and Mike and Emma, are going to come to Nebraska and help me set up the CNC in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be a super good time. So I'm kind of prepping for that. I'm going to be cleaning house.
Am I sleeping in the basement?
No, that's where Pete and Emma are sleeping, actually.
Sex
Oh, okay.
dungeon is going to us. Thank you.
German sex dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you're
go in
sleeping.
attic.
You're going to sleep upstairs next to the
You get the presidential suite.
things that we don't mention.
The Nebraska scissor lift.
Yeah.
Got to be in the pre-show.
Nebraska scissor lift. That's Urban Dictionary that, and you'll
So,
be disappointed.
Yeah, there's no definition.
Oh my goodness.
There might
Today,
be at the end of the
Avalanche.
episode.
I actually to continue what I was saying before.
Right,
Mike-
sorry. Derailed.
Mike interjected. I had to visit the teak shower floor client. I had to make an adjustment on the shower floor. All is well. I just had to like tweak it a little bit. So that shower floor,
You had to teak it?
oh, very nice. I like that.
No, it wasn't. Let's just move on. I'm going to delete all this. Just answer
Please
the question like none of that
Please do.
happened.
Was it your was it
I had to tweak it. So that shower floor goes over like a drain in a basement that has a huge like slope towards the drain itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to adjust the leveling feet. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh,
It's
that's
just something that I told her that I would do over time as needed. So
$3,200 upcharge.
yep. Anyway, that's
Unlapped.
what is going on in my world. What about you, Mike?
This week I'm still working on this ash table, but I haven't really been able to get much time on it. There's been a lot of stuff going on, kind of like background stuff this week. I had a big meeting for that big job I've been talking about. I had that yesterday. That went really well. There was it was me meeting with the project manager for the project. He's a representative for the general contractor, and then the interior designer was there and his assistant, and then the owner's rep for the building. This project's going into a mid-rise downtown. So we picked out a slab. Well, it's going to be two slabs. We picked out two slabs. The species is English elm, which is one of my favorites. So I'm really excited about that. We have tentatively decided on a design. It's going to be, what's up, Dan? I see your eyes are
Two
your gears.
slabs. What are you doing
Well,
with two slabs?
The longest slab they have there is 12 feet, right? And the table needs to be 10 and a half. And they want mitered waterfalls on the edges. So I'm going to be using a separate slab for the waterfalls. So I need 17 feet total because the tabletop's going to be 34 inches.
So the slabs that you picked out, are they matching from the same tree?
They're from
or-
the same tree, but they're not going to have, the grain isn't going to match perfectly, but they are aware of that. So, but however,
It should be close enough.
but yeah, but it's from the same tree, but also English elm it doesn't vary much in the grain. So I don't know that. So I'm going to try to match it as close as I can for that. And then there's going to be two sides. I really don't think they need two waterfalls because one of them is going to be put up against a pony wall. I
They
think
don't
it's
want
totally
metal?
unnecessary. They don't want metal. I've advised that they should do metal, but
You're still gonna do C channel though, right?
that wouldn't really help with the span issue that I'm concerned about. It's going to be a 3.5 inch thick slab, but that is a 10-foot span, unsupported.
Let me ask you
3.5
this:
inches.
Have you figured out how you're going to get it into this room yet? Is it up a couple levels?
It's on the
or is it-
7th floor. It's the penthouse.
Have you figured out how to?
So
Got it. Nebraska scissor lift.
good one.
So
All right. Well, I guess we
And
can call
that's
the
the
show. That
show.
was good. That was good. That was good. Finally, took 58, but Pete nailed it. No, just kidding. Pete nails it all the time. No, so we actually kind of tentatively. So in my proposal, I have a moving company getting that thing, but there's no way that's going to fit in any sort of elevator. So we kind of had a tentative conversation. So when I'm supposed to deliver that thing before I'm supposed to deliver that thing before the building's fully gets the sign off for occupancy. So my table will be in there before the job's done. There's still, in theory, going to either be a crane on site or a massive JLG. So my moving subcontractor is probably just going to be receiving the table on the penthouse deck. It's got an actual, like an atrium kind of a thing where it's going to it'd be a deck. Like if you walk, you're going to go outside of this penthouse, there's going to be an observation deck out there. So they're going to land the table on the deck. And then the actual penthouse has like storefront doors, and the table will fit in there. No problem. So that's kind of the plan, is to bring it up and then the movers will lock it in. So pretty big project, lots of logistics going in it, and there's going to be. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of emails going back and forth between me and the interior designer. They want us to present them a few options with different price. They want us to. It's in construction. It's called VE, value engineering. They want us to offer the interior designer's dream situation, which is always expensive, and then some cheaper options. So they want us to give some cheaper options for this. So
IKEA,
right? Yeah, new. So they. So that's what we got going on with that. That meeting was good. And then I've been working this week also on a design for a really cool project that I really hope happens. It's this custom Monopoly board tray or Monopoly board. And I really hope to be a part of that. I hope that happens because, I mean, one, it's going to be a good job for Coffee Custom Builds, really good job. And two, it'd just be kind of cool to be a part of because it's got a really local, it ties in locally. So there's more information about that. I'll give more information about that when it makes sense to share it. But anyway, that's a really cool one. But worked on, got half of the herringbone top done. I need to finish that up tomorrow. Hopefully, I won't be feeling bad tomorrow. I kind of feel like I'm going to be fine. I might feel a little under the weather, so I
tomorrow
probably
being Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday. We're recording early because I'm getting my second vaccine shot, and the Moderna one is known to kind of put some people on their butts. So we'll see. I didn't want to have the podcast. I didn't want to have to mess up the podcast, basically. So we did it a little bit early. I know it kind of screws things up, but it's better to get the show out early than late, or not at all. So what else do I got going on? Oh, I'm the most caught up on Etsy I've been since the first of the year. I actually only have one order right now, which on one hand feels nice, but on another hand, I wish that wasn't the case. I like having a lot of orders there, but it feels good to be caught up a bit. And then what else? Oh, I kind of finished up some more of that spray card. I got the back panel on there. I just need to make a custom door pull for that thing, or knob, I guess is what it would be. I was going to do that last night, but my neighbor got another guitar build or another guitar commission, so I cut the body out last night. And then, I don't know if did I tell you guys that sign I made for Max Jensen got destroyed by UPS? So
yeah, I saw in your stories you remade it.
Yeah, I remade that last night. But there's some, I don't know. So basically, UPS was wanting me to send pictures of how I packaged it. Who takes pictures of their packaged stuff?
I take pictures of my package all the time.
Right, for Grindr, but this is for like an actual sale I made. So no, they wanted pictures. And I was like, I don't have pictures of that. No one takes pictures of that. So hold on, I gotta sneeze. Okay, we're good. Nope, it came back. I'm sorry. But I sent them pictures of, it finished and then when it arrived to the customer, and then it proceeded, it moved forward. So I hopefully I'm going to get some of that money because, and I learned a lesson. I insured that thing for my cost of the thing, and I won't be doing that ever again. So I'll be insuring it for the full retail value.
Sale cost, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing it for the full retail value for any of those bigger items. So I mean, it's like $1 for every $100, and I just can't afford to have this kind of loss anymore. So that was not a cheap sign, and it didn't take a little bit of time. Luckily, this time around, it's going a lot smoother. There were some issues like Max's actual design file. I had to actually fix some things in there, and I didn't catch it till after the carve. The person who designed it for him, like some of the lettering wasn't justified in the same spot. Like it wasn't all left justified. Anyway, that's kind of a whole nother story. But anyway, it's going smoother this time. And I'm not going to, I actually don't know if this is going to work. I think I've seen people do it, but I used penetrating epoxy last time to seal the wood. This time I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to spray lacquer, like a sanding sealer to seal the wood, and then put the epoxy. And I think that
should work.
Just fine.
Now, are you going to use lacquer or are you going to use sanding sealer? I'm curious.
Just lacquer.
I keep hearing sanding sealer being used and I see it sold, but like, is that necessary or can I just spray lacquer?
I think lacquer is sanding sealer.
So it's the same thing.
I don't know if there's any difference. So I think that, I don't know. I think it might just be slightly watered down. I honestly don't know. But I think they're interchangeable for the most part. So I'm going to spray it with lacquer, and then I'm going to get the epoxy in there. this will make sense to you in 2 weeks, Dan, but I'm going to Z-probe the surface of the wood and I'm going to run a 0 depth cut to flatten it, which is what I did last time. And it came out perfect.
Are you hating on Dan?
I know, right?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
It's so
pants are
sexy.
these?
What he said is so sexy.
So-
Alrighty.
Basically, I'm gonna set the bottom of the bit, Dan, to the exact height of the top of the piece of wood, and I'm gonna run my cut at 0 depth, so it'll run just over the top of the wood and only cut out the epoxy that's overflowed.
Oh,
And
smart.
so it's gonna make my sanding. I did it on the last one. It was perfect. It made my sanding so fast. So I'm gonna do that again, and hopefully I'll be able to knock that out. I'm hoping tomorrow when I get home from work, I can get the epoxy in that thing. And then if if I start feeling like crud, I'll go lay down, and in the morning I can just get that thing done and package it up and get that out. I want to get that thing to max as fast as I can. I feel so bad that he doesn't have his sign. He paid good money for it. I mean, he paid good money for it, so I want him to have that. So,
Do you have a definition for what bad money is?
pesos.
Oh, wow.
Did I just? We have a big listener base, like Mexico City. Got what? It's like
Okay.
7,300 pesos to $1. That's not great money. Was that too much? Pete said we're the Uranus of podcasts.
We're gonna lose a lot of Vato listeners, man.
Oh yeah. He owned Anakin Skywalker, Vato. Yeah.
Was that pre-show or pre-show?
Who knows? I don't even know. Everything
That was
blends
pre-show.
together
We asked the
Oh my
chat,
goodness.
and the Chad answered.
now. The Chad. What else is going on this week? I'll say one thing.
You always have more to say than I got, which
I'll
makes
say
me
one
feel
thing.
inadequate.
It's not a sentence measuring contest.
I'll tell you one thing, and you guys know this is going to be vague, but I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm starting to feel a lot less stressed. Starting to get real close, I think. And
That's good.
I'm not stressed. I'm busy and the same busyness, and actually it's getting worse, but I'm starting to see the light, and I'm starting to feel like things are starting to come together, and I really need it to happen soon. It's time. Like I need this to happen soon, because I am really struggling I'm really struggling to balance everything right now. I mean, it's like a lot of emails a day for
You're working 2 full-time jobs, dude.
It's
It's a
hard
lot.
right now. Like I'm having a real hard time. So but it's starting to get real close, and things are starting to materialize. So
Things are aligning.
The whatever. Pete, what'd you do?
What did I do?
What didn't I do?
Aside from buy tickets to go to Nebraska to go see Dan and hang out with Mike, and
Okay, we
also
didn't
bring
talk
Emma
about
with
that.
me, the 4 of
Poor
us
Emma.
are
I
going
feel
to
so
be.
bad for Emma.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just gonna pawn her off on the kids and Kayla, and they'll be fine.
No,
She's
she's
gonna
our
be here to
manager.
play
Or-
NBA 2K the whole time.
Or she's gonna be more fun than I am. That's actually my main concern. Is that like you guys are just
It's a
gonna want to hang
very
out with
good
her,
possibility.
and I'm just gonna like, all right,
New host of the podcast, Emma
That was
Kappa.
like, shut up, Peter. I'm like, oh, okay.
She sounds like a
corner.
dude. Shut up, Peter.
I'm such a sub.
Lemma.
Anyways,
Such a sub.
to your YouTube channels.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Uranus.
Anyway, speaking of Uranus, we've been house hunting, and we found a house, and now we're doing all the fun stuff, as they call it, which is nothing but lawyers and banks and signing our name 1,000 times. And she just got her last name like last year, so she's still figuring out how to sign things. So it's all
With a
exciting things. No joke. She's like, oh, that last one looked different than this one. I'm like, all my signatures look different, babe. So yeah, we're actually very exciting stuff. We have a home inspection on the house tomorrow morning, so we're gonna learn all the things that are wrong with it, and all the things that I'm gonna have to probably make videos about down the line. But hopefully nothing so bad that we have to walk away from the property. That's our only concern. That's literally the only thing that's up in the air right now. Is for all I know, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like so. But by the way, there's like 60 homicides here, just so you know. Like, yeah, I don't know if you still want it. And there's a murder room in the basement.
Yeah,
What? Murder room? That'd be a good shop. It's probably
Actually,
pretty
in New
quick.
Jersey, there's a lot of murder rooms. No joke. There's some murder basements are like super common, and that's just a regular basement that looks like you would die in it. New Jersey
What?
sucks when it comes to. No, I'm dead serious. The houses we went to see, there was like tile floor
Dead
running all the way
serious.
up the wall. I'm like, this
I
is
thought
scary.
I was done drinking, but I think I might pour another one.
Or another one. But we're super stoked. We're already started packing. We're very excited to move. I'm already thinking ahead to like what I'm going to do as far as setting up the new shop and some of the projects we're going to need to do. What sucks is we're going to try to get in like ASAP, but we might actually have to put in floors like the first week that the house is under our possession. But that's a project that's whatever. We'll find that out. Find out next week when I have the inspection report. Aside from that, I've been on just high alert trying to sell everything I can from the shop that does not need to come with me. Any kind of stock that I have, any offcuts or whatever, I'm making them into cutting boards, trays, whatever I can to try to get them out of my shop so I don't have to move all these tiny pieces of wood. And I also don't want to throw them out. So I'm just trying to, I'm being real Dan about it. I'm holding on to everything. But I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I'm throwing stuff up on Etsy or at least I need to throw it up on Etsy. What else? I've just been cleaning up the shop, trying to figure out, like, I threw out a ton of crap already. Like what I need to actually keep, what I need to move, and stuff I don't care about, I'm either going to sell or toss. Just trying to minimize the move. And the nice thing is the community has banded together. I got several guys already lined up, got guys lined up around the corner to help me move the shop.
I like the big ones.
I like the big ones. Yeah. So I got Jake from JV Woodworks. I got AJ from Crafted and NJ. Josh from North Country. He's down in South Jersey, but he's willing to come up and help. At least that's what I assumed about what he said. I just may have committed.
That's what I assumed when I told him.
Matt from Garden State. They're all local guys. They all want to help out with the move. So I'm super excited to have them move it because honestly, I don't trust a moving company with all the cast iron and the equipment. Most companies don't know how to move heavy equipment like that. So
companies do actually know how to move heavy. Well, it's literally what they do.
No, but like legitimately, like tools and equipment, there's some that are just not equipped for it. They're used to furniture and other things. They don't know how to strap down a joiner so it doesn't tip over when you're accelerating on a highway up a hill or something. So
with straps.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
Just stories I've heard from other makers. So
Dan. Okay.
Strap on. Anyways, I'm just excited for the move. I'm excited that I'm going to get some help, and that's about it. I've just been doing crap in the shop, doing small projects, just trying to get things out of my shop. That's it. Let's move on to the questions, shall we?
Yes, let's move on to questions because we got to get through these things. We have quite a bit now.
You had something.
I did, but let's go to the questions because that might derail everything. So let's do this question. This first question is from Ash Walker with Woodwork and Whiskers. Here's his question.
Howdy boys, Ash from Woodwork and Whiskers. Question about Etsy. I'm considering starting an Etsy account. I was wondering if you have listings in multiple places, i.e. on Facebook Marketplace, etc. If it sells elsewhere, do you have an obligation to make a payment to Etsy? Interested in your thoughts on that. Thank you.
You actually don't have to pay it to Etsy, but you do have to make a donation to AWP if you make a sale there. So, little known fact. Pete, why don't you give the real answer to this question? Because mine was not funny, apparently.
Sorry, Mike, there's a delay. I just heard it.
Dan with the
Well, you got a I got a K. He's not having it.
You guys need to step it up.
Ash, as far as Etsy goes,
what have you brought? Take a sip right now, really loud.
Yeah, go ahead. And cue ice. There it is. So Ash, no, as far as Etsy goes, you can list stuff on Etsy, and if you sell it in another location, the only thing you paid Etsy is the 20-cent US listing fee to actually put it up there. And if you sell it on, let's say, Facebook Marketplace or locally, you just pull the listing and you're out 20 cents. That's all you lost. So you don't need to pay any fees to Etsy. The only time you need to pay a fee to Etsy is when you start selling a certain caliber or a certain amount of items per year.
Anytime you sell anything.
Well, no, but if you're selling off, so Etsy is going to start automatically throwing your stuff off site in their ads once you hit a certain tier, which is 10K in US.
10K sales?
$10,000 in sales.
Dollars, yeah.
US.
Revenue.
He's specifying US because Ash is in Australia. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell by his accent. That is not South
New Jersey, eh?
New Jersey. Oh, it's Oxford, New Jersey.
Good day, mate. Let's throw another shrimp on the bobby.
So if they sell it through a Facebook ad or whatever ad through Google, doesn't matter. It'll be listed as like sold through ads and they will take an extra fee on it. So that's the only time that you will pay extra fees on top of your listing on Etsy. Now, if you sell through Etsy, it's 20 cents to list it. And then they take a 5% cut off the sale at the end. So there's like 2 charges on it for every sale or for every item you list and sell. That's basically it. So no, you don't need to, Dan, you got anything to add?
Ditto to what Pete said.
Okay.
I don't have anything to add. Pete is the resident Etsy.
Actually, it's
expert.
slowly becoming Mike because he's crushing it on Etsy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm certainly not the expert.
So I'm looking at my I pulled up my stats just I've never had so I've seen my ads for my stuff on very prominent spots put up by Etsy. Like my wife will send me screenshots from her Facebook browsing where my listings will be on there. And I'm like, holy cow, that's pretty wild. And then one time I had a bunch of people at the same time message me on Instagram on a promoted Etsy post. My Imperial charts was it was a carousel of listings.
I prefer the Rebel charts. Just saying.
Yeah. My charts were the number
I assume that was
thing.
a Star Trek joke.
Star Trek. Nanu.
I'm gonna nut check you as soon as I get off the plane.
Good.
For that.
And but I've had 0 sales. Well, actually, I don't know if it's there. Well, it says 0 sales from Etsy ads, but I don't know if they're doing offsite. Oh, never mind. Yes, I have had sales from. Yes, I didn't know there was a link there. So yes, I have. I've actually landed 5 sales from their offsite ads, and they've charged me. Their sales
up to
their sales have. Their sales. I've never actually looked at this page. It's brought me $1,000 in sales from 5 listings, and I've paid $280 in fees to them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Etsy does take their chunk.
That's
so you
a
gotta make
lot.
sure your margins are there. Now here's the
on
thing.
top
this
of their
won't-
fees.
Yeah. Now this won't really affect you until you start making a certain amount of money on Etsy, because before that they don't push your stuff until you hit 10K.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
And then they bend you over. a
Mike's
barrel at
learning
some point.
things during the show.
Well, I knew they did this. I just actually hadn't gone to this link. So according to this, in the last 3 months, I've had 3,000 people click the ad from my offsite ads. So actually, I didn't know. I never clicked this link before. So this is kind of interesting. One thing that's cool about Etsy is they do give you incredibly detailed stats. You can see a lot of where your traffic's coming from. There's a lot of downsides to Etsy, but for home decor, like the typical handmade
pure
stuff,
SEO,
you
man.
really just can't beat Etsy for those things. If
Yeah.
you're not trying to be a big furniture shop, if you're wanting to make like cutting boards with personalization and stuff like knickknacks and stuff, it is really
Paddywhack.
hard to beat. Yeah, it's really hard to beat Etsy for what it has to offer. Because I mean, that's where the people are looking for that stuff. That's
And-
the mainstay.
Ash, one of my favorite tips that I've ever heard was from Jeff, and you probably heard it if you listen to all the episodes, which I know you did, which is use your name and your shop name as the tags for all of your listings, because your shop is not searchable on Etsy unless you type it in exactly the way it's supposed to be. So if someone just types in like Woodwork whiskers, you won't pop up unless you put those 2 words as tags in your posts. That'll make you infinitely more searchable on Etsy, because if somebody's buying any app on the phone or just they're on the Etsy site already, they're not going to be able to find you. If they Google you, you will pop up, because if that's in your description, they will find it. But Etsy doesn't search your description for your name. Just a heads up.
Boom.
Boom.
Dan, anything?
I've already
You
went,
said-
I think.
Just say Trito.
Did you?
Trito.
You did use Trito.
Cool.
All right. This next question's from Ben Miller.
Love that guy.
He is very nice, dear young man.
Currently the better
Hey
one
guys,
of the
it's Ben from
members.
Squash and Woodworks. So I've been on site here the last few days, doing some trim work and building some carriage doors, and been trying to think of a good question and couldn't think of anything. So I thought, okay, I'll go the Josh the Dad route and
Remember that guy?
say some profound statement that might cause a heartfelt
I miss Josh.
conversation between y'all. And after about 45 minutes of that, I remembered I'm an idiot. So best thing in my mind is say something controversial that'll at least make Mike yell at me during the pre-show. So here it is. Mike Coffey, not all pine is trash.
What?
It is.
But in all seriousness, I just want to say thank you guys. I love the show. It's awesome to be able to interact with you guys. You're always helpful. You always at least try and point us in the right direction if we have any questions, even if you don't know the answer. I mean, I've learned a lot in the last year and a half between you guys and other makers in the community. So just wanted to say thank you. All right, bye.
I mean, I could round robin this, but I think that's really, really nice to say, man. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
And-
Yeah. I mean,
as
that's
far as
wonderful.
his only controversial statement, yeah, there's only one good type of pine, and it's old growth Douglas fir, like stuff that they used to build barns with. It's the
Right.
only pine that was good because it was actually like as hard as ash. It's like solid wood. So
Pine is a very generic term. I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people realize that. Like pine just means a
Tons of
coniferous tree.
Yeah.
You know, there's
that's actually a good point.
thousands of species of pine.
We just say pine, but then like there's like 50 different types of maple people rattle off.
Right. And
That's
that-
actually
yeah,
a good point,
that's-
Dan. I don't care what Mike says. You're kind of smart sometimes.
You know, depends on
There's
how many old
120
fashions I drink.
species of pine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
did I say
And
thousands?
most of them
Yeah.
are fine.
Alrighty, I was close.
But thank you, dude. That was very nice of you to say. We really appreciate it. We do
There's
this
Yeah, thanks,
700
Ben.
Dans in this
predominantly
chat.
for you guys.
No, that was really nice.
So
That was
nice.
really nice for sure.
And Josh, if you're listening to this,
We miss you,
the
buddy.
bar's been set and we miss you.
Yeah, what happened there? Did something happen? Did we piss him off?
He hasn't
No?
called in since the incident.
Oof, the incident.
That was real gross. It smelled pretty bad. All right, this next one's from Nick Clay with Boundless Design. He has this to say.
What up, gents? Nick here with Boundless Designs, also known as Buckaroo.
Won't
I
call
want
you
to
that.
talk this week
I
about
will.
a really special program called Dare and a gateway joint. Now, not that kind of joint, although 420 is coming up. I want to talk about wood joinery, and is there a gateway joint that is really the foundational joint that once you've mastered that joint, you can then easily modify it to make other more complex joints? Curious to hear your thoughts. Keep up the good work.
Dan, what's your gateway joint?
Buckaroo, such a good question.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in, Buckaroo. I appreciate that. You know, aside from the obvious joke answer, which is the butt joint,
Classic.
I think a good gateway joint is a tight miter, like a gapless miter. When you perfect that, you're hungry for more, I think, and
Hungry like the
certainly,
wolf.
certainly how I found myself.
What? You found yourself as like an awakening.
Wake me
Don't
up.
trip me up, man.
I
I've
can't
had a-
wake
Okay,
up.
sorry. I'm
I've
sorry.
had
I'm
a
sorry.
few beverages. So I find myself wanting more after I've mastered the miter. I feel weird saying I've mastered the miter joint, but like I'm pretty
You heard it here,
efficient at
folks.
it. I'm pretty good
Daniel
at it.
Dunlap, master miterer.
Master of miters.
I haven't tried dovetails yet, but I think answer short miter joint. Pete, save me. Gosh.
Oh, sure. But everyone make sure to write in some hate mail this week and shame Dan for never doing a dovetail. I think the dovetail is a 90-degree dovetail joint. Like if you're doing drawers or something, that is the gateway joint because you not only know.
Are you saying a miter joint isn't a joint?
No, it is. But he's asking for a gateway joint. He's asking about a joint that really gets you hooked on joinery and has a lot of the way I understood it, at least, has some of the stuff that teaches you how to join other joints. And I think if you do a dovetail joint at a 90-degree angle, you learn angles, not only just like straight angles, but when you're doing the taper on the part that's inserting into that dovetail joint, I think that's actually a really good lesson to have. We actually teach a dovetail joinery class at the.
You don't work there
DIY
anymore.
I don't. They teach.
So who teaches it? Liar.
Glenn,
They teach
Glenn
it.
Guarino at
Glenn
Glenn Furniture.
Garrido.
Look him up. No, dude, this is the guy that I was telling you that he's friends with Vera Wang. With
Vera Wang.
No,
Can't
Vera
say
Wang.
those
That's
words
not
on this
right.
podcast.
Wait, what's the
That's very
Vera,
Wong.
I'm sorry, Vera
Wait.
Nakashima. Just
Oh, George Nakashima's daughter.
yes. So he's actually good friends with her, and he knew George too, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I think dovetail joint is a great gateway joint because it'll once you master that, you can I think tackle almost any joint. Mike, what do you think?
For me, it was doing rabbits and dados for like carcasses and stuff. That's what really got me like, oh, this is cool. Miters, I actually don't really enjoy miters myself. They are a clean miter is really cool, but I'm not like, oh man, this is dope. But they absolutely. It's really hard to beat the look of a miter on the front of a carcass, like for a face frame or something like that. It really just adds so much. But it's not like a super strong joint, generally speaking, but it is aesthetically really cool. I don't agree about the dovetail because I think it's I think there's a I've never like really done dovetails. I've done like 7 dovetails ever, and they're very strong, extremely strong joint. There's a reason it's so important and why it's so like revered in the woodworking world. I think there is way too much importance put on that one joint though, in terms of like the value in like you as a woodworker and being able to do it. I think there's way too much put onto that joint for people. It's like a point of stress for some people. Like they have to learn how to do it. I want to learn how to do it for myself just so I can do it. And I was like kind of on the path to that last year. And then like things just kind of got really busy with coffee custom.
And then you bought a
builds,
domino.
right. No, I mean, like for like, realistically, the dovetails are going to be stronger than a domino joint. Bottom line, I mean, it's going to be stronger. It's like the super strong joint, but who's got that kind of time? Not when you're trying to make
Christian
money, but when you're trying to make something look. I mean, yeah, that's true. When you get really, really efficient at it, I mean, those guys. That's
I'm gonna give him a
very
shout
good
out. If you don't follow Christian Sapp, go check him out. He does dovetails
he was
like
just
they're
here-
nothing.
He was just here yesterday. He had to
really?
He had to run some stuff for the drum sander. Yeah, and he dropped off my mortiser that I bought.
Good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I really like Christian a lot. But I mean, there's guys. That's a very good point. I'm speaking from my experience that it takes too long. There's guys who can knock them out quick. So that's a good point. Yeah, it's just something I need to do. But for me, my gateway was rabbits and dados, where I was like, oh man, I like putting stuff together.
I don't think enough love gets given to the miter. I mean, it's hard to pull off. It seems like very simplistic, but it's hard to pull off cleanly and perfectly.
Perfect miter. You're right. That's
And
actually why I'm excited about.
I gotta tell you, I'm
number
pretty damn
7.
good at it.
The number 7 that I got, I'm gonna predominantly use it as a shooting board plane. So, because big heavy boy.
I mean, that's a good cheat way to do it. Okay.
It is a good cheat. Yeah.
It's the dovetail jig of woodworking.
Dan freehands
right,
it instead of using a miter jig. He just freehands it on a table saw.
Dan does 2 at once. He's got Japanese pole saws in each hand, and he's just going like this, and he's just cutting, miters.
That's gonna be a clip, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be. I already know what the intro is gonna be to the show. I like big ones. Okay, this next one is from Drew Paxton.
Wait, before you play that, hang on.
Yeah, hey, let's do the giveaway.
Yep, that too. But I just wanted to let you know that I definitely did not submit to Urban Dictionary the thing we mentioned at the beginning of the show.
You did,
and it definitely doesn't just like promote the show.
You put it on there.
It's submitted for review.
Mexican scissor lift.
Oh,
refers to the
Nebraska.
podcast.
Nebraska
Oh,
scissor
Nebraska
lift.
scissor.
We'll probably get an email when it's ready.
All right, giveaway time. Sponsored by Macbeth Hardwood, as we do every week for the past 44 weeks, y'all. Last week, we gave away a 5-pack of Timbermate wood filler. And this winter, they're going to get a choice of the 5 species that they want from Macbeth Hardwood. And that winner was David Young. I've already reached out to David. Congratulations, brother. You are going to get the Timbermate product.
Nice.
This week, sponsored by Macbeth Hardwood, we are giving away an Amana chamfer and roundover bit. 2 bits.
2
2
for the
bits,
price
1
of
giveaway.
none.
2 bits, 1 giveaway.
Wasn't that a name of an episode of ours?
I think it was probably.
We gotta release
We're
that.
recycling jokes over here.
This week's episode is going to be mac and cheese straw. It makes no sense to anyone.
Unless you were in the pre-show.
Gotta be in the pre-show.
Anyway, I haven't written down any phrases for the giveaway. Actually, I'm kind of slipping. I like big ones. That could be
Train
Big train
train
comma
hobbyist.
collection.
let's just keep it simple. I like big ones. Send that to us in an email at aowpgiveaway@gmail.com.
So many good things. in that one.
I like big ones.
Okay.
Back to the show.
So dumb. Dan, do you want to read the questions from the emails?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay.
I can because I stopped
Are you
drinking old fashions.
Physically capable of doing it? Okay,
Yes. Yes.
good.
Let's start a new segment, guys.
It's all about
Is
reads
Dan sober?
stuff.
Stand sober. Hold on. First, we have Braden Lord. He wrote in last minute question as per the live chat. If you weren't in our live chat, we were asking people to send in questions. And as Mike said so eloquently, you are a bozo.
You're a buckaroo.
Braden says, was wondering about your experiences with edge banding, both iron-on and thicker pieces. Have you ever used an edge banding machine versus the old school iron-on method? And for thicker edges, do you glue flat edges or create more surface area like Dan, that would be me, did with the tongue and groove method recently? Hope the question makes sense as it was done in a hurry. Thank you, Braden. Thank you, Braden. I appreciate it. I'm going to throw this to Pete first.
So I have done edge banding all of one time in my life, and it's when I built a whole kitchen of cabinets for a rustic cabin, luckily, because my work was rustic back then. I've never used a edge banding machine. I've seen like Jason Bett use it, and it looks pretty cool. Also, Justin from Rustic Grain Designs Tampa.
Florida, United States of America. Justin
Earth
_ Instagram
_
Woodworking
LLC. So yeah, they use it. I've never used one. I've done the iron on. It works great. I think it's fine. The method I use the most is cutting strips of natural wood and doing it myself, usually doing it a little thicker. Like Dan's got a piece of veneer in his hand right now, edge banding that he bent into the thing. That's the only ones I've just done natural wood or done face frames to hide it. That's all I've really used. So Mike, what about you?
I've never done edge banding. I actually just bought some edge banding. Yeah.
All wood, all solid wood. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really done anything that needed edge banding like that. I mean, I've done the face frames for sure, but I've never done edge banding. I ordered up some edge banding.
Technically, that's an edge banding.
Technically.
You know what it means.
I've never, the way Dan did it, I won't speak for Dan, actually. I won't go into that. I've never done edge banding. I actually had a company reach out to send me a machine, but I'd never heard of the company, so I wasn't really jumping on board. It was a really good looking machine, but I'd never heard of them, and I didn't really want to jump into bed with a company that I'd never heard of, because I don't really like to do that, just because I like to be excited about the brands. But I kind of wish I had one, because I have a lot of plans for my son's room, and he's 4 and he's a little guy, and you know, the furniture I want to make him is going to be all knocked down kind of plywood, like that really modern looking like Norwegian, what is that? What's that IKEA style called?
Swedish.
Yeah, that
like the meatballs.
Swedish. Yeah, like the meatball style furniture. No, it's gonna be all that like modern
meatball out of horses, I think is
right. Yeah.
Meatball Woodworks LLC.
No, it's gonna be a bunch of that sort of inspired like modern plywood stuff for his room. I'm gonna be redoing his whole room. In that, I think it's gonna be good because one, I can just cut it on my CNC. I can get edge banding on there to look nice, and I can hit it with a nice like lacquer finish or something durable. And if when he beats it up, I won't lose sleep over it. and in a few years I can just toss it and make him something else. So, but I'm gonna do that for everything in his room. I'm gonna do his bed. I'm gonna do a dresser. I'm gonna do a little desk and like a nightstand and a couple other things. So I think it'll be really fun. And what, Pete? What?
I'm just like imagining you talking to your kid like, Daddy, could I have walnut? No, we don't plywood everything. It's continuity. It has to be plywood.
That won't happen, but no, I want to do all that. I think it'd
Daddy,
be fun.
could I have plywood, please?
It's real easy to design in like 3D modeling, and it's real easy for me to export those designs from it's really easy to export that design from my 3D modeling software into my CNC and just cut it really quick. So I've got like a bunch.
Is that the one you're using now?
What?
Shaper? Is that the one you're using?
Oh, I made that in Shaper, yeah, but
Yeah.
I actually made a couple other pieces I was actually in Fusion this week a bit. I made a couple other pieces. I already designed his bed, the guest bedroom bed, a nightstand for in here, and his dresser. So I've already got them done, and they're just ready to get cut.
Is
on
the
my
bed
CNC.
just one sheet of plywood?
No, it's going to take 3 sheets.
Oh, damn.
It's a full size bed. I showed you that design, I thought.
Yeah, you did. I didn't think it was like.
But it's going to take
that
3
big.
sheets of. It's 3 sheets of ply. I've got 8 sheets of ply I ordered in because I'm going to cut that and the queen size bed for in here. So I'm going to make us a bed. We're going to get a king size mattress. This bed, which is the full that you guys stayed on or that Dan stayed on, is going to go to Jack.
I slept on the
And
floor.
I'm going to
Pete
put
and I
our
didn't
queen
sleep
mattress.
together.
Well, that's
That
not
you
what
know
the
of.
security camera says. No, but the guest room's gonna get our queen bed. We're gonna get a king, and then Jackson's gonna go from a twin to a full, and that's what the bed I'm cutting out is. So anyway, that's gonna be fun. What are we talking about? Edge bending. So yeah, the edge bending. So
Sorry, I
I
derailed you.
yeah, no, I think I derailed it. But yeah, I've never done it before. I am actually, I'm sure it's not fun, but I'm looking forward to learning it. So I have that under my belt. I don't think I'm gonna like enjoy it, but it looks straightforward. I'm sure there is an art to it, and I don't want to offend anyone by saying it looks straightforward, but it looks straightforward. And I got iron on, and I'm just gonna knock that out and go as fast as I can. I've seen that it's best to put the piece on the edge of a workbench, overhang it off your workbench, lay the edge banding roll on its side, and then kind of spin the piece while you attach it and heat it on there. So I've seen some things where people do that, and then you can trim it up. So anyway, that's my answer. Sorry for going so long. Who's it next, Dan?
Yeah. I've actually, excuse me. I've actually done all 3. I've done the iron-on, I've done the hardwood, and recently, what?
All 3. I was just I've done all 3.
I've done all 3. I've done the iron-on, I've done the hardwood. And recently I did the tongue and groove style like edge banding, which I think I'll be doing a lot more lately, or from now on. Moving forward, now that I have a reliable router table. So the iron-on edge banding, I think it really shines when you're trying to edge band like a curved or a rounded piece. I mean, it's going to be really tough to curve a piece of hardwood or obviously a tongue and groove piece. The iron-on piece is so thin that you could actually just wet it a little bit and go around like a curved piece pretty simply. I've never used one of those iron-on banding machines though. They look slick, but I have no reason to have one in my
It's
shop.
a tough investment. They're like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they're pretty
steep.
expensive.
Oh yeah.
The
But they do that
Contoro,
one
the Festool
thing
one's
really
$3,500,
well.
I think.
It's crazy. I mean, if you're doing cabinets all day, every day, like Justin over at Rustic Grains Designs, Tampa's, Florida's,
Grain
Oh, yes,
Designs.
it's
with a Z.
Rustic Grains Designs.
Tampa.
Yeah, if
Tampa's.
you're that guy, I mean, it makes perfect sense for you to have one of those machines. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
He's edge banding his life away.
Yeah.
As far
he needs
as
like a stand-up, like a floor machine bad is what he needs.
yeah, can you get like an edge bander on a Bobcat? Is that a thing you can do?
Yeah,
he needs one of those.
It's instead of a bucket up front, it's an edge bander.
Yeah. I really don't have much to add other than.
Well, then let's move to the next question that you have to read.
Oh, more
Ooh.
reading. Fantastic.
Is Dan sober?
The next question was sent in by Mike M. I believe that is Midnight Maker Mike
That is
Yeah.
all the M's.
from Chicago.
Chi-town.
Hey boys, I'm writing to ask some technical questions. I'm starting a podcast and I have signed up for a Squadcast account for my recording part. But I'm asking if I need to pay for a Buzzsprout account to get it posted on platforms, or if there is another method. What do you guys use for that? Can you give me some pointers? Thank you so much. I'm going to pass this to Mike because I actually just show up. I have no idea how any of this works. Mike.
Pete, what was the service we used before?
Anchor.
Anchor,
Anchor.fm.
thank you. Yep, and that's what Shop Sound still uses.
That's what a lot of
We
people
pay.
use.
Yeah, a lot of people use it. It
Yeah.
gets you on all the platforms. I don't know anything about Squadcast. I'm assuming Dan or Pete doesn't. I actually assumed that's the name of your podcast when I read that, so I read it long because he's a cop. So I thought it was
Cops?
Squadcast. Wasn't
Squadcast would be a brilliant name for
Squadcast.
your podcast.
Yeah, you need to name
Yeah.
your podcast Squadcast. But we use Buzzsprout. We
Or
are
Podcops.
Stop.
I'm sorry. I'm just spitballing names. Go on.
Keep doing it right when I'm talking. It's what I do to you, so it's only fair. I think we're really happy with Buzzsprout. We pay for that. I think Pete's gonna link down below like an affiliate style link that we have for Buzzsprout. I think you'll get a deal and we get something kicked back. But yeah, I mean, we really like it because, well, the thing with Anchor was, what was the issue?
We ran out of
having?
space. So the thing is,
Right.
Anchor
Yes.
only gives you so much space, and then I think they charge you for more, but Anchor
They do
was
charge you for more.
Yeah. So Buzzsprout was these like also equally as recommended, and it's what a lot of more professional podcasts use because not only does it have more space for hosting, the availability to add more, and they have something that we absolutely love called Magic Mastering, where we throw in garbage, like a garbage audio
Hey,
file.
take it
of the
easy. I
three
do a
of
great
us.
job on the audio.
I know, Kenny,
What the hell? You don't do that.
No, I'm
Mike
kidding.
Throws in
edits.
trash.
But no, but we throw our stuff in, and it makes it even better.
Yeah, it
So
really
it-
does.
it
It
does a
really is
really
good.
job.
And then Anchor, the other thing is I think they had the right to interject their own ads into your podcast and to make their money on it too, if I remember straight. So we kind of thought, eventually we're going to want to go to a more, I don't want to say professional, but what we interpreted as a more professional option. So we just made that plunge early on. I think we were only with Anchor for 2 or 3 months before we made that decision. And it's really affordable for the most part. I mean, even if you're not really monetizing your podcast, it's like $20 or something like that.
It's
So,
$18 for 6 hours of podcast time per month,
yeah,
which
and
is
we-
not
we're-
bad.
we like bumped it, I think, or no, it bumps us whenever we go over our hours. It charges us an extra $3
$3 for an
$3
extra hour.
more. Yeah, it's like nothing. So
And
really happy with Buzzsprout.
And I think we pay extra for that magic mastering stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like $8 more a month. You pay pretty good for the magic mastering. I think we pay $27 a month.
but at the
just
end
to
of
be
the day,
very
it's like
transparent.
20 something bucks a month. It's really not that bad for
Right.
what it's doing for you.
For 4
It's
episodes
putting it out
a
to
month.
every platform and manages it for you. And so as far as the promo code goes, so we're gonna throw an affiliate link in there that gives you $20 and us $20. So everybody wins.
Oh,
So you get a $20
yeah.
gift card. to
Everyone go start a
everybody.
podcast.
Yeah. So,
That's what we want.
Fine. There is one. It's called Club. Anyway, the next one is we're done with the write-ins, right, Dan?
Yep, that's
Okay.
all 2 of them.
Cool. Thank you, everyone who wrote in, both of you. This next one is from Drew Paxton from Wood Shop Out Back.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Drew from the Wood Shop Out Back. Just had a question about benchtop sanders. What you guys recommend? What you use the most? Looking to either upgrade my belt disc combo, or should I get a large disc sander, or one of the oscillating spindle sanders? Just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Thanks. Take it easy.
Pete.
I would highly recommend the oscillating spindle sander. I've seen the disc belt sanders. We had them at the woodworking school when I used to work there. I didn't use it that much aside from the disc, but it does what the belt does anyways. And honestly, I use the spindle probably more than the belt itself. So I would go, honestly, the rigid is a nice option. You can get some dedicated ones too to have a nice belt sander and a nice spindle sander. But if you're just trying to get a nice cheap option that works well, get the rigid one. But if you get it and it has a lot of wobble in it, return it and swap it out. They do actually, unfortunately, vary from model to model. The spindles are not all perfectly straight. So just a little pro tip. Mike?
I would just give some words of caution. I had the rigid and it broke down 3 times on me in 1 year. And rigid has I'm throwing up some very heavy air quotes right now, lifetime warranty. They wanted 6 weeks for repair time on it. Luckily, my friend Pete had an extra part and was able to fix it the last time.
Was it
because
this
the other
Pete?
time? It was this Pete. Pete sent me a part to get mine up and running, and that was kind of the last straw for me. So my big word of caution is this. I bought a big disc sander, a Harbor Freight disc sander, early on into woodworking, and it's a 12-inch. And I was like, oh man, I see all these guys. I see all these guys using this big 12-inch disc sander. I bet they use it all the time. I have used mine in 3 years, 2 times. I've used it. That was a huge waste of money. I literally never use that disc sander. It works great. It's from Harbor Freight. It's well balanced. It does a great job. I've used it 2 times. I've been in a situation where I needed it 2 times. I got rid of that rigid, and I have the Laguna SS14 spindle sander. I have needed to use that 2 times. I literally never use it. Like, it's nice to have in a pinch, but I don't need it. I just don't need it. I do use my oscillating edge belt sander a lot, but those are pretty pricey. You could probably get away with one of those. I guess actually the rigid edge belt sander would work just fine. You don't need a 4 feet of edge belt sander like I have. I rarely use 4 feet of it. It's a 48-inch.
I usually just use it to break an edge.
Yeah, I mean, even then, like, honestly, like, I have a bunch of hand powered sanders, and I probably don't need that edge belt sander, to be honest. I was thinking about maybe upgrading my SS14 spindle sander to the big spindle sander, but I can't justify it. I literally don't use it. It makes no sense. Like, other than it being able to move around and have its own stationary base, which would be nice. It's like a $2,000 sander. It makes no sense. Yeah. Well, I have a cart. I have mine on a cart, and it just makes no sense. I can't justify that. There's no value in it for me. And I guarantee you there's people who use sanders more than me. So it makes sense. Those stationary sanders, but for the most part, I'm just taking my tool to the piece, and I'm happy with that. So, like I said, the one that I thought I'd use the least is the one I use the most. And if I ever needed to get rid of tools for space, it would be my spindle and my disc sander. They'd be gone. So, Dan,
it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody's shop is a
sure
little
you
different.
need that sander.
Yeah, absolutely. My answer is going to be completely different than Mike and Pete's, because I actually have a small little Harbor Freight belt sander /
Oh, belt sander / disc
what
sander. Well, we're gonna bleep that. So 1 hour and 1 hour and just shy of 1 minute.
That sounds horrible. Caligula over here.
Welcome
to Caligula's workshop. Look at my sander.
We're gonna bleep that again.
I have the small Harbor Freight belt sander,
very small, slender
disc sander.
I'm gonna
This
bleep
is
that again.
slander with NPR.
Shut up!
I'm just gonna say it. Sander. So we can all bleep. There's gonna be so many bleeps here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, start over. Here we go. Well, Drew, it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish in your shop. I have a small Harbor Freight belt sander / disc sander.
Woo!
And I often find myself
Nailed it.
wanting the larger disc sander. Disc sander! Disc sander! I often, save me. I often find myself wanting a larger disc sander. So I don't have an oscillating belt sander at all, and I've never really felt the need for one.
I feel like I need to make this a Patreon only clip.
I always wanted a larger disc sander. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay,
Get it
so
together,
this is
boys.
a really good
I'm
segment.
sweating. I'm laughing so hard.
I didn't mean to do that, I swear.
This next one is from Tyler Houseman. I don't know.
I
where he's
apologize,
from.
Tyler.
Houseman Creations. We're sorry, Tyler.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from Houseman Creations. Wondering if I could pose 2 questions on my first time giving you guys a call. First, you guys have been talking about giveaways and stuff like that, and I had a thought that came up when Kamani asked about buying things from other makers. Would you want the person that's going to buy something from you let you know that they were buying your product for a giveaway, or would you not care? My second question is about Etsy. I set up an Etsy store last night, got it all up and running, and I already had a domain because I had a website through the Square card reader thing. They do websites too. So we started with that and it didn't really do anything. So I set up an Etsy and I was trying to get it to where it would forward if somebody typed in the URL of the domain that I have, where it would go to Etsy. And the hosting service that they use said that it wasn't an allowed web address. So I didn't know if you guys knew, because it's Weebly is what they use. If there's one that will work, how Etsy's hosting service works. Any help with that would be great. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
My guess is that because I'm guessing that because Square and Weebly, it's the same company, and I would guess that Etsy sees Weebly as competition, and I'm guessing that Square is not. I'm sorry. I'm guessing that Etsy is not allowing you to redirect from there to their site. That's my guess.
That would probably be accurate.
Yeah, that's I'm assuming that because I think that Etsy is viewing Weebly as a competition platform, so they're probably not allowing that redirect. That's my guess. I would imagine that any other website host that doesn't exclusively operate as a shopping platform would allow you to do that. That's my guess, though. I know that I have WordPress now and I have WooCommerce integrated into my WordPress, but I know that WooCommerce offers websites. And my guess is that if you had a website from WooCommerce or Shopify, because I know you can do a Shopify website, I'm guessing they wouldn't let you direct to Etsy either. That's my guess. So I would say that you don't, when you buy into one of those websites that are managed by a sales platform, like a retail sales platform, they're they're definitely offering very aggressive pricing because they are anticipating you selling on their platform and they're going to take a cut of your sales. So that's how they're able to offer you cheaper hosting. But with that, you're living in their walled garden, and that garden isn't going to let you direct to other competition of theirs. That's my
What
guess.
about the giveaway
You probably
question?
agree to that.
He asked if somebody was buying one of your items for a giveaway, would you want them to tell you, or would you do that if you're buying another maker's piece for giveaway?
I would definitely say, for me personally, I would say tell me, and I would throw it up in my stories for sure. I would also say that you should probably just reach out to me beforehand before you buy it. So, and let's have a conversation. So, what about you, Pete?
Yeah, same answer for that one. I would say reach out to me first. People have reached out to me like, hey, what's the best way to buy this? I'm like, and they mentioned a giveaway. I'm like, you're gonna just get it, But like, luckily, a lot of the items I make, they're lower cost of entry, and it's usually for the 3D printed stuff, and that's easy for me to give away to people for giveaways. So I'd rather you tell me than buy it, because I would love to support the maker community if I can, as long as it's if I'm losing money on it, like a lot of money, then like it's a different thing. Because Mike, obviously, you make a lot of very high end stuff, so.
Well, it wouldn't be it'd be like the obvious stuff, like
Still,
Imperial chart or something like that.
yeah.
But,
Which
and
I
also
think is
I
great,
would
yeah, 'cause-
very much stipulate that there are ground rules for the giveaway. Not about, I mean, there'd be very much,
Yeah.
there'd be need to things that people need to follow to win it. But definitely reach out.
Yeah, but if I think we're all in kind of a similar boat of like, yeah, if we can kind of help the community out, we'd be down to do it. So let us know first, because that could change the whole conversation you have. And as far as the Etsy custom domain thing, getting a custom domain is one of the cheapest things you can do to secure your future and just in life. I own several, probably close to 10 domains, because they're what, $5 to $10 a year. And if you get a good deal and buy enough years out of the gate, I think I bought my domain for 10 years for like $50, which was like a great deal. You don't need to buy a whole website, but you can use that domain to redirect to whatever. Even when I didn't have a website built, it was either redirecting to my Etsy store, my Linktree, or my Instagram, or my YouTube, whatever I was pushing at the time. And it's such a low cost of entry. Just honestly, migrate that over to GoDaddy or any of the other sites and just manage it fully with full credentials. You'll be able to push it to wherever you want, and you won't be restricted by any site unless it's some like weird stipulation, but you will not, I can tell you for a fact, you will not be restricted on Etsy. You can link directly to it. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to parrot exactly what these guys said for the domain issue. As far as the giveaway thing is, I'm also going to parrot that. If you're buying a product from me, not that I sell a whole lot of small products yet, but if it's for a giveaway, yeah, absolutely let me know. Not because, I have some sort of like weird like superiority complex, but because I want to help. I want to help give back. So yeah, I guess I don't have a whole lot to add.
Yeah.
We're on the
Domains
same
are so
page.
cheap. We own AWP podcast. We own another woodshop podcast, podcast.com.
I feel like I'm being attacked right now. Can we move on?
Also the
That's
Dunlap,
our last question.
the Dunlap experience, right?
That's
the other one?
that's one of the ones that I own, yeah. The dunlapexperience.org or something like that. I don't know. I own several. I probably own more than 10. More than 10.
Oh,
Well, it's not the dunlapexperience.com.
It's not.
It's
that goes
something like
It's
that.
not a lie. He owns a domain, but it doesn't go anywhere.
The dunlapexperience.org also does not do anything.
I'm not gonna look into it right now. I own a lot. I buy things.
I own a lot.
I own many leather-bound domains.
I do business.
Let's just say I own a lot.
So-
So that's it for the questions
So
and the show. Do you guys want to go? I mean, what are we at? We're at an hour and 10. Let's get out of this thing.
yeah,
This is a post-Izzy
one.
episode. Who's
Guys,
even gonna
thanks,
listen to this?
thanks to everyone that
It's a
called
Thursday night. I
positively-
gotta get up early tomorrow.
Don't.
For what? What, Dan?
Take my kids to school, and then I'm gonna come.
I'll
back
wake up
home
in the
and fall
morning and there'll be like some conversations with Pete on our chat thread, or our text thread, going back and forth.
asleep.
Dan chimes in around 10:30 in the morning, my time.
Drops off the kids, go home, take a nap.
Yep, goes right
Get
back
up,
to sleep.
respond
Take
to
a nap.
messages.
No, that's not
Instagram.
taking
Don't
a nap.
hate
That's
on me.
going back to bed.
Don't hate on me. Don't hate on me because you're jealous.
I am.
They hate us because they ain't us.
No, say it right.
They hate us because
ain't
they
us.
Uranus, Missouri. Something? No.
I am super
No?
stoked for Nebraska. Speaking of Missouri and middle
You should
states
be.
and places nobody cares about, I'm so stoked for Nebraska.
We're gonna have a good time.
It'll be good for sure.
The CNC might be here.
Man, that'd be really bogus if it wasn't. No, it'd be fine. It'd be a good time.
Yeah.
All right,
I've done what I could.
This is dead air. Who's gonna throw us out of here? Pete? Me?
Sure.
Definitely
Thank you
not
to
me.
our sponsor, to Rusty Tool. Go check out Rusty for all your awesome online tool deals. He's got some of the best prices, and he always throws in some cool stickers. And check out his apparel too. And make sure to check us out, of course, individually on. I'm gonna shout out Etsy first. On Etsy, if you want to help support us. On Patreon for the show. Check us out on Facebook if you are old, and check us out on Instagram if you're cool.
If you're old. If you're
kidding,
minutes
half
from
kidding.
death, check us out on
Check it.
Facebook.
Also, check us out on the Twitters and the Mike. What's that one that you're on?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
I'm not on Twitter.
OnlyFans.com/.
Mike is actually on OnlyFans.
I
He's
despise
got
Twitter.
No fans on there. But yeah, thank you
there are no
guys
fans.
for helping support the
Apparently,
show.
not putting anything on my page gets me no growth.
No growth.
Weird.
Well, if you want to help us grow, go check us out on Patreon for all the behind the scenes content. And of course, to get this show super early this week, because it's Thursday, we're going to probably drop it, Friday, Saturday, right?
Oh, I'm going to drop it tonight for the patrons.
Tonight. And I'll have the pre-show and the video probably up tomorrow night. So I love you guys. Bye.
And
Okay,
for,
bye. Oh,
and
what?
Dan?
Dan?
I was going to say, go give us some reviews over on the iTunes and the whatever, what have yous.
No, seriously, do it.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Some
do it.
reviews and share it with everyone you know, because honestly, we want to keep growing the show. We want to get bigger community in here, more questions, fresh faces or names for the questions. So we love you guys.
Love you long time.
Okay, bye. I like the
Go
big
buy
ones.
merch.
Bye. Kill it.